we're Catholic and you're doing herbs. I'm like, yes. Then they ask, but how come? Then I explain. God created the things in the universe and gave man the knowledge to choose what is good and what is bad. So I tell them, for me, I have chosen the good that is in the nature. What is in nature that can make you better?
Hey, business people, hey, entrepreneurs, how are you doing today? Welcome to the Diaries of an Entrepreneur, a place where business people, entrepreneurs, we get to sit and have real-time conversations. How have people made it in the business industry? They get to tell us their story, they get to share their experiences, we get to learn what has shaped them. You know, when you're a business owner, what you need is a community of people that you get to learn from on a daily. Different stories, different experiences every week coming to you live from Diaries of an Entrepreneur. And you'd want to hear what other people have been through so that you're not discouraged. Someone's experience would be what you need today for you to move on with your business story, for you to move on with your business journey. So I call upon all of you to subscribe to Diaries of an Entrepreneur. I call upon all of you to share this link with your friends. You never know who needs this link. And welcome to the podcast today. On the podcast today with me, I'm seated with a very amazing, beautiful lady. She's called Irene. Irene has had her share of entrepreneurship and her share of life. And today we are here to learn from her to find out how has she been able to run Nanik Enterprises. Nanik Enterprises, basically what they do is they're into herbal medicines, right? Yes, they're into herbal medicines. And she's going to be telling us her story. What motivated her to start that kind of business? What's the story behind her business? What are some of the major challenges she has found? And I hope that you're able to learn a thing or two from her story today. Irene, welcome to the podcast Diaries of an Entrepreneur.
Thank you so much, Sandra, for hosting me on Diaries of an Entrepreneur. My name is Irene Ngoisebo. I have been doing the natural remedies business for the last 14 years.
Wow.
And how I started it, when I had my firstborn, Marcelina, at that time, she was born at Bombo Hospital. When I gave birth to her, after like 2 days, when I received the baby, we tried to dress her up, but each time my mother would try to put the hand in the oval, then the baby would cry. So then she told me, by the way, I think your baby is not stretching. Then she tried to make the baby jump. Then I asked her, but who is supposed to make a baby jump?
At 2
She
days.
told me, no, let us go to the neighbor's baby. She was like, when you hold the baby and try to make the baby jump, the baby is supposed at least to fold the legs, but ours would just make the legs straight. So I took back the baby to the doctor and explained what my mother had told me. So they did further examination and we were referred to Kosu in Entebbe. By then she was about 4 days old. So we went to Kosu. We had x-rays for the neck, for the hands, for the spine. Generally, the condition was called congenital multiple disability because the disability was in different parts of the body. And congenital means she's born with it. Like the one hand was stretching up to about 60 degrees and the other up to about 70 degrees. And the fingers were straight, not folding. Even the foot was not positioned like the way our foot is usually. So they were tiptoeing instead of stepping properly. And the neck was falling. So when we went to Kosu, after being the x-rays, I used to go to Kosu every Tuesday.
On a weekly basis?
On a weekly basis, every Tuesday, I had to go to Kosu. So they put her in bandages, because when the child is little, they don't use like straining things. So they would tie the hands with a bandage, they tie the neck, and then we were taught to do exercises. We would do exercise according to the age. So every week they'll tell you this is appropriate for this age. This is appropriate for this age. But remember, I had to leave my job at that time because now this job had become a job.
Motherhood have become a
Yeah, because every Tuesday I had to go to Kosu Hospital. Then on Monday I'll take her back to Bombo, because that is where she had given birth from. That is where I had given birth from. Then there were some tests I had to do from Nakasero Hospital. That would be on Thursday. So basically I had to leave whatever I was doing to concentrate on the little one. But the father, we tried to engage him and he didn't seem interested in the child.
Well, so all along she dying this as you.
As me. But I got the support of my mother, because each time she would tell me, when you don't do therapy for your child, you're going to carry her on your back for 15 years. So I kept imagining myself with a 15-year-old on the bar. Then I also have my sister Jackie. She was also very supportive. She would motivate me to take the child. So my family was basically supportive. But then also, by then, I was a member of the Rotaract Club of Kampala, the core. So they also gave me a lot of support in regard to the child. But even if you're getting support from friends, I even actually ventured in, I went to NASA Road and I would do book binding and envelopes. Like you make the envelopes, you make the paper bags to try and survive on the days when you're not in the hospital. But still at a certain point, it was hard to continue with all the hospital bills. So my sister introduced me to Father Raymond. So when I went to him, I explained about my child. And by then at Kosu, they were interacting with Cure, Nairobi. Then we also had some doctors who used to come and visit from Italy. They would come and review the babies and they were suggesting surgery. But when I had a chat with Father Raymond, he told me that I don't need surgery. This child can actually get well, but I will meet someone who will guide me on that journey. So I went back home with 1,000 questions. Wondered,
The mind was
who is this? What is this that is not a hospital? Will this baby really get well? So at that point, I went back home. But interestingly, we had a neighbor who used to be a traditional birth attendant. Unfortunately, she passed away like 2 years back at about 100 years.
Wow, she had big luck.
So this lady, when I went to her, she was our neighbor. I took the child, but she was like, before I even treat this child, let me start with you. Then I asked her, what is wrong with me? She told me, you're drained, you've been walking for long, you need to first rest from this child for a month, and you get strength for yourself. So I asked her, how will I get strength? She told me, now we are going to give you muzukizi. And I told her, what is that? And she took me in her garden. She was like, now I'm taking you on a tour. So muzukizi is a plant that changes color when you boil it. It turns red. And they even in those days, they used to use it as a diet. Then she told me, no, this is chibankulata, this is kamuya. Everything seemed strange to me at that time. But I had to obey and
You needed help.
Oh, yeah,
Desperate mother.
help. And then like I was a bit dehydrated, I'd lost a lot of weight. So I took the herbs and she was like, these ones you sit in them, they help you to recover. So actually within a month, I also felt like now I can go on. So then she told me we are going to put the baby in chokedo. A chokedo is a collection of so many herbs. So I asked her what was the use of that. Then she told me this baby is stiff. We need to make the baby a bit more flexible. So we would boil the herbs and get the baby and put the baby on the mat. Then you get these banana leaves. When we were boiling the chogedo, we would cover with a banana leaf and then we would use it to press the body. So as we kept on pressing, I saw now the baby was becoming now more flexible. So eventually, she introduced me to a herb called Kalaza in Luganda. So that was also that was the first herb we used on the baby after the chokedo. And then also now when we would get the herb, you would put it in cow ghee. After putting the chogedo, would put it in cow ghee and give the baby to drink, but also massage the baby. You massage until the baby is shiny.
Wow.
So, but I would do that like twice a day, and we did it like say for over 5 months. Every day you're doing the same thing, you're doing the same thing. Then she was like, now that the baby has become flexible, I'm going to introduce you to Baribao. There is a gentleman called William Iga Baribao. He's a bone setter. So I met him in Gayaza and took the baby. So when I took the baby, because for him he started with the feet. Told me if these feet are not well and the baby doesn't walk. So this upper part he ignored and started with the feet.
So was he also a herbal doctor?
Yeah, he's a herbal doctor. So he would get sticks and hold and support the foot from the ankle. Then he would tie that POP that they use on people with broken hands. Then even the knees, he would put that POP, but when it has herbs inside, even on the arms. So eventually, I saw that, and then they would be on for like 2 weeks. After the 2 weeks, he would remove and remassage. Then even for the spine, like the 3 bones of the lower disc were out. So that is why she couldn't sit even at 8 months. So he also tied something there. Then continually the heart. But I think one of the herbs he was using was the Russian comfrey. So, because that one I got to know later. After now, I also started practicing and learning more about herbs. And I'm like, oh, so he used to pluck the Russian comfrey and add in other herbs. So eventually, the baby was able to walk. But now, from this lady, since I didn't have a job, now I'd become her assistant. Oh, now she will tell you, go and pick this herb. Because at a certain point, she somehow lost her sight because of old age. But she told me, if you're to do herbs, you need to know how it looks like when it is raw, how it looks like when it is powder, how it looks like when it is dry, how it smells. So she'll just look at it, touch and feel and tell you this is the correct one you've brought. This is the wrong one. So now from her, I was able to learn a lot. But also, now I also picked interest and started doing research, But somehow along the way, when now I started now taking back the baby for review. Like you go to Coast now just to do the X-rays and what, and they had to also monitor the progress of the child. So the baby got well, and still with the help of my friends in Rotary, I got a job at Britain Insurance. But even when I got the job, I kept on doing the herbs alongside. When you're in having conversations, and someone tells you, I'm having ulcers, and I tell her, I can bring you something. I'm like, are you sure? Then I'll bring it. Like the way you'd go and get your powder, you'd tie in a white cavella, and I bring for you. Then again, someone can't say, but you gave my friend something for ulcers. My mother has back pain. Do you have something that can help? So I kept giving people, giving. I would not even charge.
You are not selling, you are
At
just
that
doing
time, I was not saying
charity.
I was doing charity. Because even me, I had received charity.
Charity, but also I think you sincere. You didn't look at it as a business
I
opportunity.
didn't look like it was business. I looked at it like I was helping people. Then since my mom was also a hairdresser, so she came up with the recipe for alopecia. That one I got it from my mom. Then also when my grandmother realized that I'm in this business, she also shared some things for skill. So now I kept on. Now when people would come, then even teenagers, they have that body odor, yeah. But when you get someone and you give them herbs, they're like, how will I bathe? So I had to come up with soap to work on the body odor. So like that. But I always did it alongside the job.
So at one point you started treating it as a business.
And then eventually when I left, I'm back on. I kept on doing the insurance thing alongside this one. Then eventually I also moved on to school pay, where I spent about like 7 years. But now the schools I was going to are the ones that were supporting. So I would go with my things in the bag. And after you've done your business, and you're like, by the way, I also do this.
So at what point in all this do you see this as a business opportunity?
Now there's a friend I met, and she told me, but because I was in so many women groups, and each time they would share, and she told me, why don't you make your group and you start teaching on the group? So I made a group, because currently the groups are now 3, and we have about like 900 members on the group. So now, these groups, I kept sharing the knowledge for free. Even now, I still share for free. And people started purchasing. But still, I would just tie in the cavera, put in a paper bag, and give you. No label, no nothing. But people would use because of the trust and the relationship we had built. Then a friend asked me, but can't you put a label? Then I asked her, but now what label? And even put in a tin. Then I'm like, what tin? Then I went to town, I saw tins, but because I had been on Nasa Road, I think for some reason God wanted me to be on Nasa Road for some time. Because it helped me to know that if you want to do boxes, this is how you do the boxes. If you need to do a teardrop, this is how it is done. If you need, so I knew if you need a sticker, you need this sticker paper. So I came up with Nanik, actually my initials. Initially it was Anik, A-N-I-K. But when I tried registering it, I found that the name already existed. So I simply adjusted, because when you see it is my initials, Ngonzebwa, Akiki, my fetch name, Irene, and Kalisa, my father's name. So I now made it a business, and in 2019, I was able to register. with URSB. Then I kept on sharing on social media, but also the people I interacted with, they kept on sharing. But COVID was a very big breakthrough for me because everyone was at home. And remember, uh, I was with school pay and the schools were closed, so we couldn't go to schools. So I went to Centenary and approached like one of the people we used to go into the schools. And I told her, hey, by the way, people are looking for pins for COVID. I have herbs you can steam. I have herbs you can drink. Because for them, they had to continue to work regardless of the situation. So now when I went to, by then that was Wakiso branch. And then the staff was even transferred to Mapera. And she told me, she kept telling people, Irene of school pay has herbs for COVID. So now that built also a line for me, Max. Yeah, because now when this one comes, they share your number for something, then others begin, do you have something for ulcers? Do you have this? Do you have? So eventually, that is how the collection kept on increasing, one product after another. Because I usually, the unique thing about us, I tailor make according to what the client wants. There are some who say, but these things, can you give me seedlings? I told you, give me 2 weeks and I will prepare for you the seedlings. Some seedlings you can get in the bush. Some of them, there are farmers that grow herbs. There are some farmers that grow spices. You get partners in that business. Like when you start treating it as a business, then you do research and find out who does this, who does that. Then eventually someone told me, but now you're doing these things. People will no longer ask you, how did you start? They will ask you, where did you study these things from? So eventually, I registered at a Natural Chemotherapeutic Research Institute of Uganda, and I enrolled. They have certificates, 3 levels. I did all the 3 levels. So now those in the school, I learned doing herbal business as a business. Then they teach you value addition, and then they teach you the correct processing, all those things. So I was able to improve, and I am still improving and learning, and you was learning. Yeah. So eventually, at some point, my job was competing with the business. That is like 3 years ago. Because you'd have to be in the field in Fort Portal. And remember here, when you're doing a small business, you're the marketing manager, you're the production manager, you're the procurement manager, everything. So it means that if you are away for more than 3 weeks, the business comes to a standstill. So I had to take a decision and leave my job to concentrate on the business.
Was it a decision to make?
It was a very hard decision because even financially, the struggle was real. By then, I even had, I think, 2 loans from 2 banks. So, but I was like, I need to, but I had to leave. Either way, I had to leave. Because when you don't leave, you keep hoping. Because I knew I'm doing this job to get capital to run this business. But at some point, you see like this side is making so still. But throughout all those years, I kept on interacting with Father Raymond. So when I told him that I had quit my job and I don't even know how I'm going to service my loan, he told me, you need to increase your sales. Then I asked him how. So he gave me an opportunity to put a shop at Teresa House in Zambia. He came and visited actually my production area. And then he asked me to present the papers I have about the business, the certifications, the school I've gone to, all those things. Then we made an agreement, and then I set up at Teresa House in Zambia, where I be every Thursday and Sunday. But the other days, I be at home working. I have few people that work in, but majority are online, and also most of the people have been through relationship, basically, that you supply to someone in the bank, they introduce you to someone else in the bank. You supply a teacher in a school, he introduces you to a friend with another condition, like that.
Irene, wow, what a story. That's quite an interesting story, and I love the way you have it all at your fingertips of how events have eventually unfolded and how it has. So looking back, it all started with your daughter.
Yes, please.
How is your daughter today? How is she doing over time? Did the condition go away? Did she eventually heal? How is she today?
The condition went away. She healed, and she's now in senior one at Mount of Olives in Kachiri, where she's doing well. And actually, in the early days of her life, one of the things that motivated her, we put her in a normal school. We didn't put her in a special needs school. So she would say, "Mommy, my hands can't write." Then I told her, "Who says your hands can't write?" For the children, because I'm the last person to write. I told her, "No, you will get there." And the good thing, the schools were a bit understanding, but eventually she picked up. She has a very good handwriting, can now write very fast. She loves reading, because sometimes she even takes readings in the church. She's a lovely girl.
Wow.
And also there's co-curricular activities. She's living a normal life.
She has now started living a normal life just like any other child.
Yeah, like any other child.
Wow. So are we safe to say that your daughter's condition is the one that actually brought up the entrepreneur in you?
Yes, please. Because I needed to make her better, and in the process of making her better, I picked passion for nature. So I started doing research about nature, reading about nature, but also at some point, I worked at KCC, Komamboga Health Center, while doing counseling for HIV and AIDS patients. So I always wanted to see people in the hospital get better, and there are some conditions that need a lot of support. So I kept on, and also somehow along the way, when my daughter had lost a lot of weight, like she was 6 months, 6 kilograms, to a medic, that is terrible. You can't have the same kilograms with your age. So I went to Mulapo, Mwanam Gym, and they taught me to make food. Because at first I was like, how do I afford this food? And they told me, you have all the food in Uganda to make this child fat. Then they taught me how to do chitobero. You make 2 plants, would get a carbohydrate like say cassava. Then you add an animal protein like fish, meat, and then you add plant protein, maybe peas or beans. And then I would say, how do you give a baby meat? They're like, you scrape. The one that goes on the knife is for the baby. Don't give soup.
Wow.
So eventually, I learned how to prepare the baby's meals. And from that, I realized that many mothers don't have time to make a balanced diet for the children. So I came up with porridge that has about like 8 foods. So when they eat it, they actually boost the body.
I think at times it's a blessing to be a mother, because I'm sure if you weren't a mother, or if you didn't find yourself in this very predicament that you found yourself in,
True.
your business would not exist today. True, this true. You could be somewhere doing a job, or you could be somewhere, doing any other business, but not this particular business day to day. So Ugandans, Africans, we have a misconception. If I if someone walks into a space and they found herbs, or they found someone doing herbs or taking herbs until they hear herbs in the typical Ugandan setting or African setting, they have a herb, someone will look at you with this eye of that they will judge, they will even take it into witchcraft or sorcery. And you used one word, that nature. I think you used the word mother nature at one point when you described the kind of things that you do. How do you work around this misconception that we have as Africans, that anything that is related to nature and herbs, people look at it in that kind of direction, and they tend to think people are not so spiritual. People who do those things are not spiritual. But from your conversations talking about Father Raymond and all this, it seems that the church is actually the one that has supported you.
Yeah, actually, I have got a lot of support from the church, I must say. Because since even the most schools I was handling were church schools. So I even have priests who support, who use the actual remedies, who appreciate. Then when you meet someone, because I always have something on me, like I have divine mercy, I usually have my rosary or something. So the first thing they say, hey, you're Catholic and you're doing herbs. I'm like, yes. Then they ask, but how come? Then I explain. God created the things in the universe and gave man the knowledge to choose what is good and what is bad. So I tell them, for me, I have chosen the good that is in the nature. What is in nature that can make you better? What is the harm in getting, and actually most of us throw away the most important part of the fruits. So I explain, I'm like, now for you, you get your jackfruit, you get your avocado, you eat the fleshy part and throw away the seeds. Yet these seeds are my recipe for a blood tonic.
I'm tempted to ask a baby. I'm tempted to ask a baby question.
It's okay.
Do you fall sick?
Yes, I do fall sick.
Because it seems like you have everything at hand that you need and require.
You have everything at hand that you need, but sometimes as you interact with people, sometimes you can pick infections, like from people. So you feel sick sometimes, and so when you feel sick, you go to the hospital. Because there are people who say, you're a herbalist, why are you coming to the hospital? There are things that I can get in a hospital that are not in my herbal shop. And actually, I always even recommend for my clients, you go to the hospital, they confirm that this is actually the condition that we are dealing with. And it becomes easier for me to tailor make something for you according to your condition. So I also fall sick. And I go to the hospital.
We have a conversation that kept running through my head. I'm like,
and sometimes you can get like say malaria. Okay. And then I suppose even me those some of herbs that are bitter, like bitter leaf. They're like, let me at least go for a quinine injection.
Looking at your business journey, what has so far been your most proudest moment as an entrepreneur?
My most proudest moment as an entrepreneur is when I got the registration from URSB. That one I felt like Now I'm getting there. Then also going to school to learn and get better about this business. It was also a very big, and also I must say even COVID was a very big breaking point because we were working online, making deliveries and what sales are coming in,
rent.
no rent, you're working from
You're working
from home in the house. Actually at that time I even used to operate from the house inside in the kitchen space. But eh, then eventually I had to move out, though it is close to home, but at least the space is bigger. And then even going to Teresa house, that one, it just left me speechless. But above all, I cannot forget to appreciate my customers, because if they had not liked my things from the start, I don't think we would even be here. They appreciated and spread the word.
I think it's about it's about building trust. If you have a product that works, so you had that people gave them a product that worked, they appreciated it, and
They built the trust and spread the news. That was really, I think those have been like my great moments. But also seeing my daughter through school until now, though we are still going, that has also been a good milestone.
at that moment you felt like giving up.
Yeah, just like that time when I had just left my job, I had a fire outbreak at the shop. So I lost some stock, even the solar dryer caught fire. So I was like, now how am I even supposed to continue? You have left the other side, the shop is burnt, the stock is not there.
The machines are burnt.
Hey, you're like, now what do I do? Where do I start from? So at that point, I felt so down. I think I even went into depression at some point. But I have my sisters, even my husband, they give me a very good support system. So they would come and ask, but get out of bed. And then customers would call, and you're like, these things got burnt, they're even not there. What am I supposed to give the customer? So I got some customers who would pay in advance. I got some few whom I told the truth. I'm like, you know what? My shop got burnt. And you want stuff. You send advance so that I can prepare. So now I used their advance. I went to, because most things grow in the wild. Then there are few that you grow. Then so I would use their money actually to prepare. Then I got back on track, and I am still improving.
You're still improving.
Yes, but
What kept you going in that particular moment? I mean, no job, business is gone. It's almost back. You're like, it almost feels like you're restarting because you're back to zero. What kept you going in that particular
the
moment?
actual thing that kept me going, my customers, I feel like I'm obligated to give them a solution. So each time someone would call, then you're like, I need to serve this person. But when someone orders for an unanswered thing, you can't make one thing. I would make 10 and keep 3. You deliver the others, you remain with 3 in the shop. Then I even have salons that use our hair oil for alopecia. So now they would make their orders. I tell them, and now you pay advance, they pay. So if they need like a dozen, then I make like about, if they need a dozen, I make like 3 dozens. You give away the dozen and you keep 2. So that is what helped me to.
Wait, so you kept reinvesting all that profit
Yeah,
that you
so-
you get?
Because now I actually keep reinvesting all the money.
You talked about that you had loans. Do you think loans are unnecessary even in business?
Sometimes the loans are necessary, but the challenge comes when you're not able to pay back on time. That is where the problem comes in. But also, one thing I don't understand about them, this insurance thing that we usually sign for in the loan, does it really work? I always ask myself.
No, it works. I'm not going to speak for the banks, but in an instance, a client dies, because that money is remitted to insurance companies. So in an instance, a client dies, or you get an accident and you're disabled, or even when someone has a job but they use their jobs and they're unable to continue paying their loan, that money that they've been remitting from different clients to insurance companies is what is actually used to cater for their loan at that particular moment. So for them, I mean, banks and financial institutions are money-making institutions, so they'd have to close up every gap that would actually make them losses. So that's why they pay for that insurance.
Okay. But now at some point I got help from some friends, my brothers and sisters. They helped me to clear some bit of it. Then you discuss and do a restructuring. Then at some point I also got a temporary job at Bank of Uganda for 3 months. Then it also helped me to offset one of the banks. Then I continued there. So I'm left with one. I am still yeah,
No.
it is part of reality.
You know, it is part of reality.
But I know I'll get there. Eventually you
pick it
you
up.
sort it out. Now you just make a decision and say, if today I've sold 200,000, let me deposit the 100 on the other side. Because when you don't do that, it becomes a bit hard.
What advice would you give to someone who has lost everything and they're trying to rebuild their lives?
If you've lost everything, the first thing, the first business thing you need is passion. Because if you came to me and asked me, what business can I start with 100,000? Then I'll ask you, what is your passion? If your passion is cooking, you can buy Irish, then you buy charcoal, and you start selling chips with 100,000 capital. If your passion is fruits, is juice, if you love juice, you can make juice. But if you don't love juice, even if I give you a job and tell you there are mangoes in the market, there are pineapples, you will not figure it out. So the most important thing is to have passion about what you want to do, and you also have to do it well. You give it your best, give it your time, and also you have to meet the right people that will make you move in your passion. Like say now, for example, in our herbal business, the people that we look down onto are the ones that appreciate the local products more than the people that are land. Fine, they also support, but the other ones give more support. When they ask, do you have mururuza? They don't ask, what does it do? Where does it grow? How does it look like? You know, someone who is educated. They ask, now this one, where did it come from? Then you're like, this one is a water lily. It is from Lake Victoria. Oh. And you're like, the questions are too many. Then they'll ask you, what are the active ingredients in that water lily? What is it? But someone who is, like say your neighbor, will just come and say, you have Alzati. They don't even know what is there.
All they want is
all they want is something that will help. And like, then she will come, omwana wange, then you're like, okay, ekwatomwe. And they take you like, this one is my solution. And they'll respect you for that and appreciate and use and spread the word. So those ones, they really, really support our business.
So much. What final message would you have for an entrepreneur or a business person? It could be a woman, it could be a man, that is going through challenges in their business right now.
So, for someone that is going through challenges in your life, first of all, you need to think deep about how you got into those challenges, and then you need to look for the people that can help you out of those challenges. Because sometimes there are people who think that, because for me, I used to think that a loan must be money from the bank.
Oh.
But I could come to you and say, Sandra, I need 2 million shillings. But I'll be able to pay you in 3 months' time without interest. And then you're able to help me in that situation. Or sometimes I can say, but there is this farmer who is growing moringa. There is this farmer who is growing sour soup. And I need all these ingredients in my immune booster. So you approach the farmer and you tell the farmer, you know what? Kindly give me this and this and this. Because instead of them keeping it on the tree, and you know with plants, the more you cut, the more they grow back. So now you talk to the farmer, and the farmer will help you in that situation. They don't have money, but they can give you what you need, and you go and move on. So sometimes when we are having our struggles, friends can help us in our struggles. Some family members will help, some will not help. So you need to decide and see who can help me, who can't help me. And if you need the help of a professional, like say you might need a lawyer, you look for the one that has pro bono services. If you need a therapist, you find someone to talk to. Because I might not be a professional counselor, but when you talk to me, I could give you advice from a layman's, and you pick out something or two. And sometimes we think that money is what makes the business. Money is just one of the things that make the business, but relationships are very important in business. And when you choose to do something, you do it well, give it your all, and then you don't have to give up. Because the moment you give up, that is when, and depending on the nature of business, some business it is very hard to delegate. Now, like I have about 54 products, and still more are coming, depending on the problems of people. For me, the recipes are in my head.
Oh.
Now, I cannot tell you, but now you go and mix what and what.
You sent me there for one herb, I didn't get it.
So now, some businesses, you cannot delegate. So you should know what kind of business are you doing. And you need to supervise as much as possible. Like say, daily sales, you supervise the products that have come. You have to check and see now. And then you have to also, if you have a supplier, you need to know the supplier, where do they get their products. And you need to keep getting knowledge, attend workshops, meet people in the same business. Because someone can ask, you know, where did you get this recipe? Then you go to like a village, you find an old woman, those people you don't want to talk to. Then you go, they tell you, the other one treats epilepsy, but you have an epileptic patient. So you visit, that is the best person to visit. You travel and visit the person, and she will tell you. and then they tell you, the other one is the one who treats people with fibroids. Then you go and visit. Then you ask, now how do you? So that one, and now after you've shared with them, then you go and also read. So you need to pay attention to what you're doing, and then you get knowledge. Yeah.
Guys, this has been, I don't know, for me, I told you by the end of this year, I'm going to be knowing every business in my head because I didn't see this coming. I think after this, I need to be nice to hand. I get to learn a herb or two. So next time, I don't know. Irene, it was so nice having you. It was so nice hearing your story. I wish people could listen to more of your story. You have quite an amazing story of how actually your business journey has been shaped, because most of us, it's hard to find someone that their business journey has been shaped the way yours has been shaped. But thank you for sharing your story with us, and I'm sure that people there are going to be inspired and they're going to learn a thing or two. And guys, support Nanik Enterprises. Don't be out there struggling and you have all these problems and you don't know what to do. We are going to put her contacts and some of the products she does so that you can feel free to reach out to her. So I think it's possible for you to share some of the pictures of your work.
Yes,
So that
it is possible.
So we're going to put her products and we're also going to put her contacts. So if you want to reach out to her, please, you're going to be able to reach out to her. What other ways can they reach out to you? Do you have like any social media pages? Do you have like...
I have social media. I have TikTok. I use a personal TikTok, Irene Ngonzebwa, and we also have Nanik Irene Enterprises on TikTok. Even on Twitter, there is Nanik Irene Enterprises. Even on X's Twitter.
Yeah.
Eh,
Yes.
Yeah, so we're on all the social media platforms, the common ones. But even if you go to Google and put Nanik Irene Enterprises, the pin actually brings you up to the location at Wampeo Gayaza Road. Then the outlet at Zambia is actually at Teresa House, where Father Raymond meets clients. That is every Thursday and Sunday. That is when it is operational. But if you feel you're near Zambia and you'd like to pick a product, you call me and we make an appointment. But also, we do deliveries. And this year, the most interesting part of the year, for the last 2 years, I've been able to ship to South Africa and to Canada and also to Switzerland. Then I have some friends from the UK who appreciated our products. When they have relatives that are coming over, we give them and they take to the clients.
So you see, she's trusted. She's international. You don't have an excuse. Guys, until next time, behind the camera, we have the one and only, the Liz Dr. himself, Enoch. Don't forget to subscribe. Don't forget to share the links. See you next time. Bye-bye. So,